Hi, thanks for watching BSGcast. I'm Nat, he's Matt, and let's get started.
And today we're reviewing the DVD for what might very well be the last piece of Battlestar we'll ever see. The Plan.
Now, is it just me, or did the whole thing feel like it belonged as deleted scenes from No Exit?
As disjointed as it had to be, The Plan had a great direction, amazing performances, amazing visuals.
And much of that can be credited to having Adama himself direct it.
Yes, and if you just can't get enough Eddie, make sure you click the link on bsgcast.com to enter to win dinner with Adama.
Yep, UGO is doing a wicked contest to celebrate The Plan that will fly you to Los Angeles to dine with Edward James Olmos himself.
Now, The Plan having a director that was there for every single episode of the series really paid off, but the writing could have probably benefited from that kind of longevity.
Yeah, it's sad that Jane Espenson wound up writing a story that took place entirely before she was writing and producing on BSG.
Bad idea.
So let's break the plan down into the story and the characters.
Their ships fail, skittering like
It's been a long time coming.
Movement is meaningless in the absence of...
Too bad they don't understand what we're doing for them.
I think they're grateful in their own way.
I know I'd be.
The miniseries from the Cylon perspective was breathtaking.
The first time Six turns and says, it's about time, and Cable is revealed, you really get to see how this movie is going to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, it really is basically continuity porn for BSG geeks like us.
All the expanded imagery of the colonies burning was gorgeous and absolutely terrifying.
The harbors of Pycon are burning, the courthouses of Libran, the cities of Caprica, it was all chilling.
Definitely, just got goosebumps. But the story really started to drag once the attack was over and the first season started. I actually, sorry to admit, fell asleep twice.
She's not even kidding.
Sorry, Jane. It just stopped mattering to me after the first half hour.
I've really got mixed feelings about the clip show format since, I mean, they were really important for context.
Definitely.
No matter how many times Eddie tried to use alternate angles, they just kind of went on too long.
And you know what? In the case of Tyrell, those clips just reminded us what the characters should have looked like.
Yeah, you know, as much as that's the case, a few actors have not aged a day, like Michael Trucco, Callum Keith Rennie, and Grace Park.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Speaking of Grace Park, seeing Boomer's conscious interaction with Cable while she was still a sleeper agent was awesome. She was a perfect double agent, at first at least.
Now, it was awesome to see Cavill in general at that stage. Operating out of the church was amazing.
He was
him
really
in the temple,
cool.
It was great to see him on Galactica at that point because we never got to see that.
No, that was very cool. And it was great to see Anders' resistance story, actually. It was, quite frankly, the most interesting story after the bombs dropped.
And watching him become a leader was
yeah.
awesome. But you know what? Ultimately, the plan filled in blanks that we didn't really need filled in. And it left holes open that we still need answers to. Like, honestly, Shelley Godfrey was a mystical element for me until the plan happened. And now, what? What? She's just a Cylon. We know exactly where she came from, all that stuff.
It's unfortunate.
The angels, God, Starbuck. Come on.
I know, I agree. Like, what happened to all the supernatural elements? The Starbucks story really pisses me off, of course. Anyway, this movie was only about the Cylon plan, which was just a band-aid attempt to wipe out a few dozen ships that escaped the attack.
And, you know, we were just expecting a more grandiose plan. We've been reading about it for 5 years.
Yeah, really too bad. But you know what? With a series that started with no idea where it was finishing, there was a lot of band-aid in this movie, too.
Yeah, and some of it just did not work well.
Like the fact that Aaron Douglas does not look like he did 5 years ago, which brings us to the characters themselves.
Dad, Mom, Dad. Our parents will be back with us soon. Of course, skin and veins and bones, they won't survive the death of the colonies.
We've always known that the plan was supposed to expand on some of the final 5 that were underused for the entire series until Ron decided who was going to be a Cylon.
So it makes sense that Ty wasn't used more in the plan. But it's still a shame we didn't get more Michael Hogan because we love him.
We do love Michael Hogan.
Go Canada!
And considering that Tori was completely unseen for half of the series, it simply boggles my mind that she was so grossly underused in the plan.
It was just embarrassing.
What a waste of what became a deliciously evil, nasty little character by the end of the series.
Not one, but 2 Simons were used more than Tori. Like, really? And she survived the attack very differently in the plan than she did in the deleted scenes of Daybreak, which is
Yeah.
weird. I mean, I guess Espenson didn't watch the deleted scenes in Daybreak,
Or maybe they're just not canon.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't
But you know
know.
what? The virtually made-up character of Gianna did not need to happen.
Oh,
This
really
actress, okay, this is insane. This actress was in one scene in the miniseries as like a featured extra that had a couple of lines.
Which no one would remember. But for some reason in the plan, she became Tyrell's human in love with a Cylon foil, but he's a Cylon too, so it doesn't exactly matter.
Really doesn't exactly work, but thank goodness she was interacting with the Simon that we also had no interest in hearing about. Ugh. And Espenson was so excited that she came back for the part.
I know, again, kind of embarrassing. And you know what? I've got to say that the plan ruined Leoben for me as well, which is unfortunate because he was one of my favorite Cylons. But come on, like a radio, that was how he became obsessed with Kara? Like, what happened to all that supernatural stuff
I
again?
know, it's bad enough that he had to end on such an odd note by simply disappearing after Kara saw Kara. It just didn't make any sense that it began kind of as crappy as it ended this way. It didn't help me. The ideas that Leoben expressed in Flesh and Bone pretty much were pointless in this. I mean, at least he was painting the mandala randomly for no reason. There was a bit of mystery instead of just a bad excuse.
Doral, however, was awesome in this.
You know what? This jacket is burgundy. His was teal.
You know what?
Like,
I
amazing.
definitely appreciated that. Not only was he hilarious, but I've got a new respect for the Fives and how low they are on the totem pole because I didn't quite realize that there was that kind of hierarchy
you
within
really
the
don't get
Seven
that.
as well.
You
so.
don't get that at all, especially in the early seasons because they only had so many Cylons that they could use. He would have these clever conversations with Six because we didn't know about Simon or Cavil. And so now to look back on him like digging holes and graves.
Yeah, and burying the bodies is totally the servitude
just totally
model.
bitching about it because they honestly should have been Centurions doing that. It was hilarious.
It's true.
Like, why? It didn't make any sense. But you know what? Despite all of our whining and moaning, there are really quite a few sparks of awesome in this. I mean, it's nearly 2 hours long.
Yeah, definitely. Like the one great shot toward the end as the Cavils are on their way to being airlocked as they are accidentally confronted by the Final Five. That was chilling,
Absolutely.
actually.
It was such a great opportunity to see how these two characters that started out identical, by the time they're surrounded by their makers, had become two very different Cylons.
The movie really should have just been called A Tale of Two Cavils.
You know what? But the one thing that makes me wonder is why is it that one Cavil gets to decide to box the other?
Yeah.
And why did Three's entire line get boxed if Deanna was the only crazy one?
Who knows? Eddie and Jane both expressed that it's the last piece of reimagined Battlestar as far as they know that we're going to see. And with Bryan Singer doing a BSG movie, the plan stands a good chance of being all that sci-fi can afford to do.
And you know what? As dumb as putting Brandon Routh as Superman in a movie when there's a perfectly good Superman already on TV.
Oh wait, that was Bryan Singer's idea too. What
a jerk. On that note, we hope you've been enjoying our interviews with Battlestar cast and crew.
We have.
We'll be keeping BSGcast.com updated with important news as more interviews come our way.
And of course, you'll also be able to see the Capra cast right here in just a couple of months. So hopefully it's excellent.
So we'll see you guys soon.